What's going on, guys? This is Chris back with another painting video. In this video I'm going to be showing you the process and techniques I use when painting this picture of Scarface. What I like to do when I start off is, once I've drawn up the face, is go around the eyes and the nose and mouth and like some of the details in a darker colour, just so that when I start applying layers of colour I can still see them. The trouble is, sometimes you end up painting over the lines that you've drawn out and then you struggle to like get it where it was meant to be. So I know you're meant to like start from light to dark with acrylic paints, but it doesn't matter with this bit. But yeah, like I usually have like an idea of how I want it to look at the end. Like I usually have a picture in mind of how I want the portrait to look and what colours I'm going to use, but sometimes I don't. Like this one, I know I wanted to use light blue and grey, but I don't know, I wasn't really sure, so sometimes I just like start the picture anyway and go with the flow sort of thing. But yeah, I mainly do like portraits of people and like celebrities and people that inspire me, and I usually just use like all different colours. Like I never used to like painting because I wasn't that good at it, and in like school I think I must have started in like year 9 because my teacher sort of made me do it, and then I sort of got a bit better in that, and at that point I used to just do like realism and just copying from a photo and making it look exactly the same colour. And then like eventually I just got a bit bored of doing that, because I just thought, I think I was drawing a picture one day, copying from a picture exactly the same, and I just thought, what is the point in this? Like, you can just take a photo of it. Like, I know it's not the same thing, obviously you put in the time and effort to do it, but I just thought, like, why don't I just change it a bit? I think as well, I think I was watching some Picasso documentary ages ago, and obviously he was around like in the 1800s, like late 1800s, and before the camera was invented, and he used to do like realistic like portraits and paintings of people, and then when the camera was invented he sort of like went a bit mad and said like, what's the point in art now if I can just capture it with this camera? Like, there's no point. And then I think that's when he sort of started his cubist sort of unrealistic looking style to sort of change it a bit. And yeah, that sort of made me think like, what can I do to change this up a bit, because it's getting a bit boring. And I think one of my mates actually showed me some artists that use bright colours and stuff, and I thought, oh yeah, I might start using bright colours as well. Like, and here I am. But yeah, this one, as I go through it, as I do with a lot of paintings, I sort of end up painting over bits that I actually liked accidentally. And one thing that I do a lot is I take pictures as I go, because as you'll see in this painting, what I do is what I end up doing when I take pictures and I'll accidentally paint over a bit I liked, I can go back to that picture and look at that bit and think, oh yeah, I might add that back again, because otherwise if I didn't take the picture I won't remember it. But this one goes through a few stages of me painting it, liking it, and then I just get a bit carried away sometimes and just overdo it and then end up not liking it. But yeah, that happens sometimes, doesn't it? I like to experiment a lot with painting techniques and stuff. Like lately, as you'll see in this one of the things I've been using is just adding loads of water to the paint and making it drip down the canvas. Because sometimes I get a bit bored with doing the same thing, so I end up just finding new things. Obviously I didn't invent doing that, but I never used to do that. Yeah, I usually have like a usual approach to doing my paintings. Like, I like to start off, well, in this one I started off with the dark colour, going around the details. But I usually start off with the light colours first, or the colour that I want to use, like light blue, and then sort of go slightly darker, like the grey, and then now I'm using the black to go over the darkest areas. Then after that I sort of stand back and have a look and see where I want to go next. Like I think after this I start adding the white to the really light areas of the face, and then I just go through stages of like adding colour, adding detail, and correcting it. I think it's important that you try new things so you can like find the style that's right for you. Like here, I know it's sped up, but I do paint in general. I do paint quite fast, and although I could paint slower, I sort of enjoy painting fast for some reason. But sometimes I think I should slow down a bit because I do rush things sometimes. But yeah, I mainly like using all vibrant colours and sort of distorted effects in painting. But that's just something I found to enjoy, like through trying new things. Also, sorry about the audio quality. My laptop doesn't really work that well anymore, so I've been like doing it on my phone with this app, and you've got to record your voice on your phone, so it's not really that good quality. But I've only just started YouTube, so I will eventually get some, I don't even know what, a microphone or something better to record the audio with. And yeah, I'm working on editing my videos as well. Like, they're not the best, but again, I need to like invest in some better editing software. You can get free ones, but I've got one now called Filmora, and every time I try and use it, my laptop just freezes. So it's probably just my laptop I need to get. But yeah, at this point in the painting, I sort of quite like it. But as you'll see, I eventually, well, in my opinion, I think I end up ruining it, and then that's when I sort of change it. 'Cause that's why I always end up doing that. Like, sometimes I just overdo it a bit, but then I just let it dry, and then I'll just go over it with another layer. Like some of my paintings have like 4 or 5 layers of just me trying new shit or just not liking it and just painting over it again. I'm also looking to get some prints done eventually because I've got an Etsy store and it's got like all my paintings on that I've done, but it's harder to sell original paintings because not everyone has like over £100 to spend on a bit of artwork like spare, and yeah, it's easier to pay a lot cheaper for a print of something that you like. And I think that's where a lot of artists sell their work and then eventually they'll sell an original. But I basically live in the middle of nowhere, so there's not really any decent printing places. Like if you want to scan a canvas, you need, well, unless you want to pay a photographer loads of money to get it like taken a picture of and all the correct lighting and stuff for printing. But you need a flatbed scanner, and a lot of places don't have them where I am. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. But there is a way of doing it where I've seen on YouTube where you can buy a scanner, obviously not a massive one, like an A3 one, and what you got to do is like literally, even though the painting's bigger than the scanner, you sort of got to put the painting on the scanner, like part of it, that will fit on there, and sort of prop it up around the other corners, and then just scan bit by bit each bit of it, and then you can put it into Photoshop and then sort of fuse all the pictures together. So I might eventually do that and then go and get it printed, because that's the main issue, is a lot of places can't scan big canvases where I am. So I think I'm going to have to do that. By the way, thanks to everyone who's subscribed to me so far and watched my videos. Like, I've only been doing YouTube for like a couple months, and I know it takes time to get views and subscribers, but I'm gonna keep going and hope for the best. So yeah, thanks. See, I actually quite like the painting at this point. I think one thing that can be hard sometimes is like knowing when to stop painting and when to just leave it before you end up like over painting. And I think sometimes I don't do that properly. Like, that's why I end up just changing it, because I end up ruining it a bit. As you'll see soon. Well, you might not think so, but I think I do. And this is the part where I think I ruined it a bit with that blue going around the edge. Like, I don't think I needed to do that. And then I sort of just started not liking it, and I'm like, oh, what have I done? But sometimes you got to ruin it on purpose, like with that white, and then paint over it again. I don't know why. I sort of started doing it for some reason, but like, and then you go over it again, and it just gives it some weird effect. I think this is the part where I realise I've sort of ruined it a little bit. So I decided to like change it a little bit. Yeah, this is one of my favourite things to do, adding what I spoke about earlier, adding masking tape and then painting in between the gaps, like different colours, and then peeling it off. You don't just have to do thin lines either, you can do massive bits, squares, whatever, triangles, whatever suits you really. The good thing about the masking tape is if you want, once you pulled it off and it's dried, you can just do another layer and another layer and like just get this really cool effect with different colours and lines. Yeah, the funnest part, funny enough, is probably taking the masking tape off, because then you get to see what you made basically. Yeah, I think this is when I start liking it again. Like once I've done that masking tape bit, I'm like, yeah, I sort of am liking it a bit more now. But yeah, as I said earlier, although you don't see it on the in this video, like while the paint's drying, I do sort of put the paint aside, stand back and look at it from a distance, and sort of look at the reference photo and see like what I need to do, like what I need to change and improve on. Like I think I needed a bit more contrast at this point, so I started sort of made some like thick black outline. And at this point, once I'd basically done the picture, when I was looking back and looking at the reference photo, like because at this point I thought it, earlier it looked like Scarface, but then it sort of started not to look like him, and I was trying to figure out why. But instead of getting frustrated, I just started looking at the picture and looking at the painting from a distance, and I could see that I sort of made the nose a bit weird shaped. Like, so I made it too skinny, so I made it a bit wider, and then I needed to go over the mouth and around the eyes. Like a few things I sort of, like the slightest little things you change can change the way someone looks, like tremendously, basically. I also made his jaw, like, I think I made it too high up, so I had to like alter that as well. Yeah, just a few bits that sort of were out of proportion or the wrong size or shape. And some bits as well, like, I think I'll do it in a second, the stripes that I put on the face, I think I painted over some of them. So as I said earlier, as I go, I take plenty of pictures, because some bits, sometimes I look at it and think, oh yeah, I like that, but I've painted over it. So I look back to the pictures I took earlier and sort of like add them bits back into the painting, which you'll see shortly. Yeah, so you see I painted over them stripes that go over his hair. And then I was sort of looking at the painting and thinking, no, I actually like them. Why did I paint over him? So I sort of looked at the picture I did before and realised that, yeah, I liked it when I had them. So I just thought I'd add them back to the picture, sort of thing. Another thing I often do is when I think I'm done with a picture, without fully looking at it, I'll just go, oh yeah, that's done, and just leave it. But this time, I sort of, even though I really wanted it to be finished, because sometimes I'm a bit impatient, I just kept sitting there and looking at it and looking at the reference photo, thinking, what can I do? Like, because it's never like perfect, but I was just thinking, what can I do? I need to take my time, basically, and that's what I did with this one. I kept going back, like going over the nose because I made the nose a weird shape, and then eventually it started looking like Scarface again. Yeah, I like to use palette knives as well, and different things. Like, although they're saying a palette knife, like, I don't even know what it is. It's like a bit of metal that's shaped like a card, but if you sort of dip the thin end in paint, and then you can make like little lines with it. I like experimenting with different things like that. I like to give different effects. Like, yeah, palette knives are quite fun to use, but I haven't really been using them lately because I used to use them so much. But I might end up going back to using them. yeah, I'm starting to wrap the painting up now, like finish it. And I think I'm just adding back one of the lines that I painted over earlier. But yeah, sometimes if you do end up not liking the painting, you can always paint over again. Obviously with oils it's a bit more annoying, but you can get a medium that makes it dry slower. But yes, I think in this case it was meant to not look good at first, so I can like change it, because I think I like this style a bit more than the one I did earlier. Yeah, as you can see on my phone, that's one of the photos I took a lot earlier in the painting where I really liked it, so I could sort of refer back to that and add back the bits that I liked that I painted over, because you don't always realise. Yeah, that's pretty much it now, guys, but thanks for watching, and if you want to see new painting videos every week, please subscribe. Also, if you got the chance, head over to my Instagram, Chris Bardell Artist, and you can see more of my artwork there. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.